Okay, so we know that the prices currently in the altcoin market are low. We know the opportunity is there. The entries are great. The few people that are here are, in my opinion, really blessed. But how many X's can we realistically make in this cycle with altcoins without taking too much risk? Now, I don't want to say 100x here, 100x there, but is it it's something to expect that we can say like, well, 3x and I'm out? Or is it somewhere in between maybe? Let's take a look at that, because I think it will be a lot better than most people expect. So welcome to the FOMO Factory. Like the video if you are here, because that puts you on the winning side already. You are a winner. You haven't won yet though, pre-winner. So at the moment of recording, Bitcoin is sitting at 106.6K. Now, this is quite cool to see, right? That we had the war news. It got down to 98, and now it's at 106 again. So there's an 8K candle right there in a matter of 3 days. Sounds like a lot, and yeah, let's be honest, it is a lot, but percentage-wise, it is nothing unheard of, right? We have seen bigger drops and rebounds in the market. So Bitcoin is just doing Bitcoin kind of things, and in the meantime, the Bitcoin dominance is elevated, right? It had a big push up towards new all-time highs, or at least new cycle highs. Now it came back down a bit again. And yeah, altcoins had a harder bounce than Bitcoin, now sitting at major resistance, of course. And overall, if you look at the sentiment in the market, people are saying that it's bad, of course, and that they are down quite a lot. So let me know down below, what is your position right now? As in, are you down, up? How much percent, give or take? I'm very curious how that looks. And don't compare it with the all-time high of your portfolio. Of course, you'll be down, but just with what you entered the market with, right? Now, I do want to notice, or I do want to say this, that if you look at the last cycle, right, what is important to understand, I think, is that, you know, we now had bear market, first run up, 60% correction, second run up, 60% correction. It's what we had here as well, right? Bear market, run up, 60% correction, run up, 70% correction. And, you know, the people who were sitting around this point, maybe, they could have said like, oh, I'm down so much. Yeah. You could be down right there, but look what eventually happened, right? Now, I'm not saying that that will happen, but I also feel like, hey, we should not compare it yet if we don't know what we should compare it with, right? There's a lot of money in the market, and a lot of money, if you are well positioned, could definitely flow to your side. So let's, you know, be hopeful within the realism. Now, how many X's is realistic, right? How can you even know that? Well, I asked the community, and this is pretty cool because the opinions are really divided, actually. So it's 22%, 20, 32%, and 25% out of the 300 votes of people that think that they can make 1 or 3x, 3 5x, 5 10x, most popular 10 20x after that. I honestly, if I would vote on this, I would go for this as well, right? That's a realistic amount without anything crazy that has to happen. Now, the reason why I think that is, well, apart from the charts and all of that that I showed in my last video, actually, if you look at a render, for example, but it could be any coin, a couple months ago, or half a year ago, actually, when we were in the December run, I saw so many people say like, oh, 5x from this point, 5x, right? And it was 12 bucks. Okay, so 5x from that point. So according to a lot of people, a $50 render was very doable, right? It was an easy 5x. From this point going there, that's a 15x. And so I do feel like if people expected a 5x or whatever here, then you should at least expect huge gains here, right? Like like your goal is still there, I assume, but now the entry is lower actually, so there's more room to go up. But yeah, that's where sentiment comes in, because when we are low, then it for some reason feels like, nah, just a 3x. I'd like, but that's even down from this point. Like, that's not really realistic. So I honestly think that we have a lot more coming actually than what maybe a lot of people expect. And my theory is this. I see in the Telegram groups, etc., I see a lot of people nowadays say, I didn't take my profits last time. I didn't take my profits the time before that. Next pump, I'm gonna take profits. You know what I think though? I think that there might be a chance that the next run is the run. Just purely because of that, right? Because if now people feel like, oh, I didn't take profits here, I didn't take profits here. So let's say that that the market now goes somewhere here again, and people do take profits. They might take a little bit too much, and then the market just keeps on running, right? It just keeps on running. And then what happens is these people, they FOMO back in, and that drives the price up even further. Now, does it make sense? Yeah, I mean, look, crypto's kind of designed for wrecking most people, right? So I do think that if everybody now decides to take profits, then the next pump might be slow and suppressed, right? But it's like pushing a ball on the water. At a certain point, bam, it comes out, right? And that's, I think, the run that is gonna catch a lot of people off guard. Actually, I need new lights. My head is shiny. I'm a new shiny coin. Buy me, right? Like, no, but I think that's a real possibility, actually. If I look at a lot of coins right now, like I said, a render, just going back to a non-alt season high is a 4.5x from this point. If we go back to AVAX's non-alt season cycle high, is a 3.5x at this point. If you take a look at a near, right, that's a 4x at this point. And these are high caps, right? If you look at the lower caps, see the 5, for example, at the moment, very low cap, it's a 7.5x from this point. You have to realize, at least you have to consider, let me put it like that, that here was still QT. Here, there was no $3 trillion in the market. Here, there was no alt season, right? Of course, there was a moment where S-Fund on the Bitcoin pair outperformed a little bit, if you overlay that. And is this really the chart that I'm... Okay, well, whatever, let's work with that. You see, the purple line is S-Fund against Bitcoin. And if altcoins outperform Bitcoin kind of collectively on a durable scale, that's what you can call an alt season, right? But was this actually an alt season? I don't know. November, December 2023? Let's take a look at the altcoin market on its Bitcoin pair. November, December 2023. You know, that was here. Yeah. If anything, this was a dead cat bounce, or, you know, a range or whatever. But that's the same as this, right? Or the same as this. But this was not an alt season. This was not an alt season. So why would this be an alt season, right? This right here more looked like this. And this right here in November looked like this. And now we get the drop below the range, and that's where the real alt season occurred. So I honestly think that what we got right now is a preview, basically. It's just a preview. And I honestly think that there's so much more to come than most expect. Again, like whenever we go down, people start to manage their expectations, while you actually should raise the bar, because wherever the top is, hey, going from here to the top is less gains than going from here to the top, right? But it doesn't mean that if we go all the way down here first, that this top is all of a sudden like invalid. Right? That has nothing. This has nothing to do with this. So I don't know. Be cautious, of course, at any time, but also be again hopeful. within realism. Like, it should be a little realistic still, in my opinion. Somebody on the channel made a statement about the altcoin market, like, and he means like, hey, it could be that this was it, and I think it is a valid point to make, but I want to zoom in on it a little bit. So what Jens is saying, check the total 2 or 3 chart from 2021-22, and tell me that it doesn't look similar to what we have seen right now. It could very well be going down from here. And I know exactly what you mean. So let me pop that chart up. And let's talk about that real quick. Because I do think that a lot of people indeed look at it like that. And in that case, you might be like, oh, fuck, we have a problem, right? Now, what I think you mean, at least, but correct me if I'm wrong, is that you are saying like, hey, we had a run up, we had a peak, right? We came down quite a lot. We had another peak, bear market, right? And what we see right now, we had a peak, we came down, we had another peak, and bear market. Okay, cool. So what and plus, by the way, that we had another dip and another dip. What I think makes this completely different, actually, is one, the time in the market, right? We had this peak, the bull market peak, in November 2021, and this one was in December 2024. And yeah, the well-known 3-year cycle, right? Like that like the whole business cycle has been moved a little bit more to the right. Crypto is showing more and more. Like, I'm not ruling out that this cannot be a possibility, but I want to let you know why I think that this is not the case, actually. The whole business cycle has been moved a little bit more to the right. Crypto is following the business cycle more and more. So I am not ruling out that this time could be different time-wise, but not because the cycle was moved like a full year to the left, actually. Because you could also look at it like this, and I rather look at others, actually, because this just shows, you know, it doesn't, like, the total 3 includes USDT and USDC as well. It has nothing much to do with altcoins, right? What I am looking at is more this, right? And who knows which side could be true. Well, we had the bull market peak, went into a bear market, found the bottom. Right? Went into the bear market, found the bottom. We had a run up of 340%. We had a run up here to the first peak of 414%. It's not a big difference. Then we had a correction of 58%. Here we had a correction of 58%. Then we had a run up again of 134%. Now, this run up right here was 190%. Also, okay, cool. That was supposed to be the start of the new bull market. But then we got a black swan, of course, COVID, and it brought it down 71%. People say that the tariffs was also some kind of a black swan, and it brought it down with 62%. This all looks scary more similar to me than this compared to this, right? Time-wise, following the business cycle-wise, the recovery from the bear market, the startup of the first bull market again, and also percentage-wise, like, whoa, crazy, right? Apart from that, I also then look at alts on the Bitcoin pair, because yeah, alts are going up, and it's because Bitcoin is going up. And I also don't know how much we should compare with 2021, by the way, because this right here wasn't really a normal cycle, in my opinion. But also, if you look, holy shit, if you look at alts on the Bitcoin pair, then it's also showing that it looks more like what we are seeing right now than what we have seen so far, right? Because if you again look at, this is alt season basically. We had the top of the bull market, go down, range, break the range, right? But that's what we saw last time as well. Top of the bull market, go down, range, break the range. And the bull market before that, well, a cycle before that, top of the bull market, break down, you know, bear market, range, break of the range, right? I don't see this like it's not comparable to this. Like this is comparable to this, and this is comparable to this and this. So I get your comment, but the chance that this might play out, I would put, I would give it a scenario of maybe like 3% that that's the case. So I actually don't think that that's what's happening right now. And there are more things that we can look at, of course, right? For example, if you just look at the crypto market and its fair value, the undervaluation, the overvaluation. Look, crypto markets, they top out when they are overvalued. Why do they top out? Because they are overvalued, right? If you look at this cycle so far, right? Last cycle, yeah, I mean, we were overvalued. We went to the undervaluation. We hovered around it, and we got overvalued again, right? But now, like, again, we hover, but it's not that we broke out there or anything, right? And you might say, like, yeah, but here we already started to break out in November 2020. True. But here we started to break out in May 2017. That's not much of a difference given the seasonality compared to where we are right now, right? And that it happens a little later, like that's fine, but that's at least so far 1 month difference compared to 7 months difference. So I don't think that that's that different actually, but who knows? We'll find out. Nobody knows, right? Somebody mentioned 20-30x easy from here. Like I'm also optimistic. That's really optimistic. Like, yeah, I would say like, is it doable to get a 20x from this point? Probably, yeah. Is it easy? And is it actually also easy to walk away with that? That's gonna be a challenge. But if you apply it right, man, I think that, yeah, we will look back at this cycle eventually and be like, wow, it did so much, like it went so much above our expectations once again, right? Because why are we in altcoins in the first place? Because we want a 3x. Why are you then not just in Bitcoin? You easy make a 3x at least, right? So you are in alts to outperform eventually. But it depends on when you get in alts, of course, right? Most of the time, Bitcoin just runs a cycle, and then there are a couple moments where alts outperform. Rate cuts, Solana, Sui, ETF, war ends, and we go parabolic. Look, yeah, there are a lot of things right now that I think are suppressing the move up, like they always do. I personally don't think that a Solana and a Sui ETF have any impact on the market, because even the Ethereum ETF doesn't have an impact on the market. While that's a bigger altcoin than Solana and Sui, of course. And people know it's applied. They know it's probably going to get approved. So the whole buy the news type of money that flows in, that's already there. The actual money that is going to flow in, that takes a lot of time. You'll notice with Bitcoin as well, right? It takes a lot of time and it slowly flows in. But indeed, I do think that if we get news, which is good when it comes to the war, when we get indeed the rate cuts, when potentially QT stops, let alone if we get all of that kind of at the same time, if that happens, yeah, then it's gonna get nuts. Then it's gonna get really, really, really nuts. And I honestly think that we don't like. We should expect something like that, yeah. This applies for more altcoins, right? Beam's chart is crazy. I'm wondering if it's going to find a bottom soon. And a lot of people are not in Beam, right? But a lot of charts look like this, where they had a decent moment, right? And it's going down now really hard as well. Look, you can also say like, hey, it did a 14x already at least, right? It's 15 even, right? But yeah, during these circumstances, it also went down with 90%. again, I said this a couple times before, but if I can take you back real quick to 2017, right? We also had coins like Steam that did a 25x, and then it went down with 98.7%, right? And then it went up with 15,000%, basically. So that it's, I do want to mention that, you know, there's always a chance that these coins are not going to survive, but purely based on this chart and how it went down, there is no reason to say that this is dead, actually. Because if you would take, you might say like, oh, 90% or 98% is not that big of a difference. From this point, it is actually. If it would have gone down 98%, 0.7, right? 98.7, or give or take, then it would be sitting 8 times lower than where it is right now. 8 times lower than here. And still, if that happens, the market showed like, oh, these coins can still pump really fucking hard, right? So it's hard. And if it's going to bottom, where it's going to bottom, look, therefore, I still hold my beam back, but gaming narrative is not that hot at the moment, right? And therefore, I would say, you know, what if, you know, this goes on for a couple months? Yeah, do you want to be in a project like Beam that obviously shows like, hey, we are a little less strong in this market? Or do you maybe want to be like, okay, you know what, I'm going to get into some higher cap altcoins first. And once we have some more confirmation, I wrote it up with these altcoins. And then I convert it into the higher risk altcoins like a Beam, for example. I'm not saying sell now. But if you are not sitting comfortable on it, you could also say like, hey, you know what? I'm going to move my Beam tokens into something else that is down, but that I have higher conviction in. So you don't really sell at a loss, actually. So that's what I would do, actually. Someone said Bitcoin closed below the daily moving average. I don't know which moving average, but it's over for a while. That was 2 days ago. Look, you want to zoom out a little bit in this market, I think, because, yeah, 2 days ago, it closed below a certain moving average. I don't know which one, the 50, 100, 200, whatever. Let me take a look. I have the 200 right here. Well, that's not it, at least. It could be the 50 daily moving average that you might be talking about. Yeah, close below it. Yeah, now it's above it again, right? So be a little zoomed out. Okay, that's really helpful. I mean, if you if you anytime that we close below something like that, and here you basically said it's over for a while, you said it was over at the bottom, right? Because you are too zoomed in, and yeah, you are, right? And I mean, it can go down again, but hey, at least you know you like. We are at 106 and yeah, here we are, right? So don't pay too much attention to the shorter term. That's not going to help you. Got a comment from Kyle. He said, bull run over. Lol, it never started. It has been down only since November, December. But there's more history than November, December, right? If you say the bull run has never started because you take it from the last peak, yeah, okay, that's cool, right? But the bull run started here, right? So yeah, okay. I think this is an important thing to respond to as well. I don't want to respond to all the comments. It's too long video, but just, you know, looking at the sentiment and the opinions from certain people in the comments and try to see like, hey, is there something we should keep in mind, or is there a counter argument that it may not be that bad? And this person says this whole cycle is different. If the S&P now dips 30%, then you can say goodbye to your alts. But in any case, if the S&P, well, dips, that's a fucking crash, right? If it goes down with 30%, then your alts are going to go down really hard. Like we have seen that with COVID, right? And we have seen not even that during the bear market, and we saw even a smaller one during the tariffs, right? But yeah, if the S&P goes down with 30%, then there is a good chance that alts take a hit indeed. But I don't see why. You did say, don't forget the S&P was rejected from continuing upwards, will probably continue going down. Everything will crash, plus war. It doesn't look rosy. The way I see it is this. We have wars, we have tariffs, we have uncertainty, and the S&P is sitting at all-time highs. I don't see, like, this doesn't look weak to me at fucking all, actually, to be honest, right? The S&P took a hit because of the tariffs, and it got bought up like a complete shitcoin again, right? Looks to me actually like COVID, right? Where there was a black swan, went down really hard, got bought up really fast, continued bull market. But looking at the S&P, I don't see weakness here. Actually, I see a strong fucking chart. So yeah, but if and when it goes down, then alts go down as well. Yeah, but that could be during the next bear market. But I don't see why it would happen right now. Actually, good take. Thanks for keeping it real. So hard to buy right now. Must be a huge opportunity. Yeah, probably because you mean like, oh, it's down, so it feels bad, right? Yeah, it's uncomfortable. And the uncomfortable buys are the best buys, actually. This comment, I think, covers the current sentiment pretty well. Somebody actually is really, really frustrated. Stick your altcoins up in your hand, this and that. And look, I feel bad for you if you took a hit because of what happened. Like, that sucks, right? But what you are showing is a buying indicator, right? Like, I hope you do try to understand, like, what if this, what if that, and it's already down. Like, this is the Warren Buffett, like, buy the fear. You're showing fear, panic. I think you are maybe sad. Like, it sounds like you lost a lot, right? And of course, that one has something to do with timing. That's sorry on you as well, of course. But overall, that's exactly the sentiment that the market gives whenever alts are getting wrecked, especially during these times of Bitcoin dominance, right? Because you, and with you, I mean basically everybody, actually, we, go in alts because we want more gains than Bitcoin. Otherwise, like, why the fuck would we take more risk with alts? Like, let's just buy Bitcoin, right? Like, but we want more risk, or we don't want more risk, we want more reward. So we take more risk. And then alts show that, hey, we go down against a safer asset. Might as well buy Bitcoin. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. If you see Bitcoin going up, you'd be like, fuck, I could have been safe and made a, I don't know, what was it, 7x. Yeah, that's really frustrating. But also, that's really part of the game, actually. How do you think people here felt, right? The dominance for Bitcoin now went up in total with, 69%. But the last cycle, the dominance went up 107%. People here got so much more wrecked. It was so, like, much worse than what it is right now. Really, I know it sucks right now, but it's nothing compared to last cycle, right? Nothing. And everything was okay, actually, after that, right? But yeah, here we had the same comments, right? People feeling the same. It's over. Alts are dead. This and that, and yeah. I would say, man, you came from far. From what I hear, might as well hold on. Apart from that, if you are in this situation, though, try to take it as a lesson, at least, so you didn't pay for nothing, right? Maybe you went in too much money that you actually didn't wanted to lose or could not lose, right? Whatever it may be. And then next cycle, yeah, it will be a lot better again, right? And I know that a lot of people are now saying, next cycle, I'm out. Nah, next cycle, you will be here. like, like witness the gains, and then you have some money if you play it right. You know, and then next cycle you'll probably be in Bitcoin for a long time. Do this right, and then the next retail that comes in, they are the ones in your position right now. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. Someone said we got about 3-4 months left. I don't know why. No alt season means alts will be dead for years. YouTube influencers will lose their group subscribers plus the money they invested. Trust me, they are more scared than we are. Look, I think that, at least if I can speak for myself, they're more scared than we are. It takes a long time before you lose your emotions when it comes to crypto, right? Well, I didn't all of a sudden stepped into crypto and bam, started to do this full time. So I'm doing this for a long time right now. So the reason that I do that is because, one, I am quite emotionless nowadays. Two, I have high conviction. And really, you probably don't believe me, but honestly, in this whole market, there was never a moment, in this cycle at least, never a moment that I was scared, right? Did I have my moments where I was disappointed, or even a little sad, like, oh yeah, shit, I want it to happen already? Sure. But scared? No. And I don't know why influencers are actually. I responding to somebody said that because they listened to Alex Becker. Yeah, I don't know. It's okay. Like you can listen to anyone. It doesn't matter. But you should always do, use your own brain as well. But yeah, we got about 3-4 months left. Not chilly, really, not chilly. Not really sure why. Maybe you mean the 4-year cycle, but in that case, it's June. We have half a year, right? Not a quarter. But again, also, don't be too stick to the idea like, wow, it will end this year. Guarantee, no matter what. Like, hey, I am also, my base case is the 4-year cycle, but I am willing to look at, hey, again, crypto is following the business cycle, and the business cycle has been moved to the right. So it could be that we go on in this market for a little longer. Definitely. I'm unfollowing since crypto is down and it's a waste of my time. I'm a fool for ever buying. That's unfortunately what happens right now. And that's unfortunately also what happened last cycle. Again, I'm not saying that this cycle will play out like the last one, okay? I don't know. All I know, matter of odds, statistics, 90% chance. But if you look at the last cycle, it went down, they got wrecked, right? And maybe they invested some new money here, and then it went down again. They got like, fuck! It went up, give it a little hope, and then down. People said, fuck that, I'm out. Right? How many people got out right here? Why do you think that candle was eventually such a wick? There was full on, apart from the liquidations, full on panic selling over there. People got the fuck out of crypto right there, right? Yeah, you tell me, was that a great move? And you can try to be like, okay, yeah, no, but this time is different. Fine. Maybe. But did you come into crypto to invest, get wrecked, and then get out? Is that the plan? These people that do that are not the winners. We all know that. Right? It would be a waste. I'm telling you, it would be a waste. And you would hate yourself, and you will probably even lose more money if you now get out. Right? Because what will happen likely, and what happened last bull market, people got wrecked, like I said, got out, saw the market go up, they felt like crap. They felt like fucking crap. That feeling, I've witnessed that a bit as well. That feeling sucks so extremely hard. It's undescribable. But then what they do? They buy the top again. And then the real bear market comes. And then they get wrecked again. I know from the last market, I don't know, I've never verified it. But I don't know if you may remember, but there were a lot of stories about, and that was about Luna mostly and FTX. But whatever the reason was, it was eventually the market behavior. There were actually people committing suicide over this kind of shit. And you should ask yourself, one, am I made for this? If no, then fine, but then never look back. If the market now does 100x, you should not give a fuck about it, okay? But two, if you do feel like I got this, ask yourself, is this money that I'm investing right now, if I lose it all, hypothetical scenario of this is all gone, does it change my life for the worse? Do I have a problem? If the answer is yes, then you are in with too much money. Take your fucking loss, take that money out and ride it with whatever you do have. And if you don't have anything, then don't ride it. Right? It's that simple. Stop making bullish altcoin videos. They bring bad luck. This time is different. One example is Solana meme coins take all the liquidity. That's why 0 altcoins are pumping for a long time. Yeah. Look, I don't know, like, in my opinion, this is definitely not the case. Why? Well, the Solana meme coins is a big rock fest, right? There are over 30 million Solana meme coins. Name 30. All these coins are already rocked and dead before they even hit the open market, right? When they're still in that freaking bonding kind of thing or whatever it may be, right? They are already dead. So that literally cannot take the liquidity, right? Because you cannot invest in something that's rocked because there has to be liquidity in order for you to put more in, right? So it's literally impossible. On the other hand, as well, if you look at this, I hope this takes that concern away. The total money in the market on TradingView is $3.24 trillion. But what is the total? Total is this. TradingView total definition. According to TradingView itself, right, verified source, it shows the total market cap, which is calculated by TradingView by adding up the top 125 coins market cap, right? So the number that we see right here is just the top 125. Now look at coin market cap. Track 17 million tokens. And therefore, the total market cap is 3.28 trillion. So basically, the difference between the 3.28 and 3.24, right? That's 40 billion. That's pretty much everything outside of the top 125. Yeah, that's not where the liquidity is. That doesn't even matter. Why do you think TradingView doesn't even track it? Because it's dust. It doesn't add up. It's not important. It's not even in the conversation, right? So that is not the case at all, actually. So I hope that takes some concerns away when it comes to that. And that's why 0 altcoins are pumping for a long time. It depends on what you invest in. Look, this chart, for example, is everything in the top 125, excluding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stable coins. So all the altcoins in the top 125. You could say like, therefore nothing is pumping. From last time I checked this chart, right now, altcoins are going up, right? But maybe not the alts that you look at, right? And also, of course, admittedly, not a lot of alts that I'm looking at or invested in, because I don't constantly be only in the strong top 125 coins. But the fact that nothing is going up is already not true. Plus the fact that that's because of the Solana meme coins, it doesn't mean shit. That money, it's nothing. It's nothing, right? So I stopped making bullish altcoin videos. Bro, I honestly will really refer you to channels like Crypto Banter in that case, right? If you only want bullish videos when things are high, do that, right? You see these green happy thumbnails when everything is high and you want to buy, right? At the highs. And you see these red, it's over kind of thumbnails at the lows. Makes you prevent from buying the lows. It's fine. But that's actually the way to get wrecked, right? Again, I can guarantee you that for sure I'm not, but probably you as well are not smarter than Warren Buffett. Okay, nobody here is, like, let's be honest. And what he says, you know his saying, buy the fear, sell the greed, right? But if you are doing the complete opposite of what the world's most famous investor trader is doing, and you don't buy the fear, right? You don't like being optimistic at the lows about getting a good entry. Yeah, that's fine, and I get that emotion because it's normal. Market is down, you feel bad. But if you turn your emotion off and use your brain instead, that will really work, actually. So I want to leave it there. It's long enough. It's a lot of this sentiment lately. Also, though, a lot of people are actually. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people now feel like, hey, it's a good opportunity. It's good. But like, people start to flip a little bit on this channel. Like, oh, you know, let's get in. And maybe that's because, I don't know, we have seen it now multiple times, right? Whenever it is low, hey, buying opportunity. Whenever it's low, buying opportunity. So whenever it's low, probably buying opportunity, right? Maybe we just need a lot of confirmation. I hope that this community is the one that at the end of this cycle will be like, fuck yeah, it wasn't easy, but we did it. And if that's the case, then I want to arrange a meeting somewhere and we can all get drunk and laugh and shoot some bears. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Turn the bell notification on, and I'll see you in the next one.